Hello world, welcome to another edition of Championship Mode Collective. Thank you for joining us wherever you are in the world. I myself am in Joburg, South Africa, so we're glad to have you with us today. In this episode, I'll be talking about how to build resilience in 5 easy steps and using those same exact steps to maintain resilience in good times, in bad times, and in not so great times. But before then, if you're new to Championship Mode Collective, please take a moment, hit the subscribe button so that you can stay up to date with everything Championship Mode Collective related. With that being said, let's dive in. Why resilience, you might ask? Well, let's define resilience first. Resilience is having the ability, the awareness, the empathy to understand when you're not performing at your best, when you are not at your best as a person, and removing yourself from that situation. And why I want to talk about resilience is because I was in a burnout a few months ago, and it just really sucks because it takes so much to identify that you're in a burnout. It takes so much to remove yourself from the situation, and I don't want to fall into the same trap again. So I'm making this video sort of like as a primer to say why resilience is important. What this resilience helps with, it helps avoid burnout, it helps keep low performance to a minimum, and it helps you push your high performance as much as possible. It helps you maintain positive energy for a very long period of time. And so for me, that is why I feel resilience is important. And because naturally resilience and high performance go together, let's get into 5 steps on how to build and maintain resilience. Step number 1. Create a routine. Routine creates consistency. And what consistency allows you to do is it allows you to fall to a very high baseline in tough times when your environment is really turbulent. What also is great about consistency is that when things are going really well, you just sort of like add and build onto consistency. But when things are not great, because you've built that consistency, you sort of like, if you lapse or if you fall back to a low performance, it's kind of like high because you've put in so much effort in creating a routine and creating a really good consistency in your life. Step number 2, find the space and time to meditate. This will strengthen your mind-body-soul connection. Okay, what do we mean by moving? So moving is anything that gets your heart rate up. This could be dance, this could be hiking, this could be jogging, this could be any form of training, something to get you out of the house, something to get you outdoors, something to get you out of your mind and just physically present. And with meditation, it can be an activity that is meditative, an activity that slows you down, an activity that forces you to be present. So for me, meditation works really well. I'm able to add it after my workouts. So I meditate for like 10 or 15 minutes. I really love breathing meditations because they're sort of like easier for me and they grow on me. But anything else could work, like taking a walk around the block, a cool down routine after your gym session, or even a cool down routine on your way to work. So anything to just force you to move differently and to meditate and force you to slow down and be present. Step number 3, keep your power circle strong. What do we mean by power circle? Your support system. Now, it's very easy to point to your support system when times are really good, but sometimes we miss out on that. We miss out on the opportunity to cultivate. But cultivating your support system during the good times is very crucial, because what that means is in moments where you stumble, in bad times, your support system turns around and pours back at you because they can understand that you're not at your best, and because you've willingly and been able to do that for them, they are happily able to do that for you too. Step number 4, keep an open mind, also known as try new things. The mind is really engaged when it tries new things, learns different things, it's taken out of its natural environment and put into a new environment. This also helps with creating new routines, which keeps your mind engaged. The issue is when the routine gets stale, your mind becomes bored, it starts to switch off, and you start slipping on keeping your resilience and your high performance to an acceptable level. And so that's why it's really just nice to engage your mind and to keep things fresh, to switch it up. So it's different from a routine, because you're probably thinking, well, if you create a routine, your mind will become bored. But the thing to note about a routine is that you can create a routine but mix up the elements of the routine, right? So you keep your routine fresh, but at the end of the day, you still have a routine. Step number 5. To me, I think this is the most important step: checking in with yourself. Basically having self-empathy and using that self-empathy, right? Because what happens is we get busy in our day-to-days and we forget to check on ourselves. But what checking on ourselves does is it allows you to understand your emotions, whether they are positive, whether they're negative, whether they're contradictory, and that awareness creates an opportunity for you to course correct or to keep that same energy, right? If we're on a positive trajectory, but if we're negative or if we're feeling contradictory, then we can take a moment to pause and say, well, why am I feeling like this? So practicing that self-empathy, checking in on yourself is really just important and helps pull sort of like the resiliency from step 1 all the way through to 5. And yeah, that's it. But hold on. Bonus. There's always a bonus with me. Bonus step: avoid your pitfalls and your triggers. What does this mean? Choose what's good for you. You know, in your life, in your experience, you know your triggers, you know what might be good for you, you know what is a potential temptation that might lead you to break your consistency or that might lead you into a bad habit. So try at all means to understand what those triggers are and avoid them. Avoiding them is half the battle, and steps 1 through 5 can come from the avoiding these pitfalls means your mind focuses in a really positive mind frame. Instead of focusing on like negative energy, you focus on like positive energy, what you can do, what you can control, and that positivity just adds to the resilience. Okay, so let's recap on 5 steps to build and maintain resilience. Step number 1, create a routine. This allows you to understand where you have to be at each point or at any points in the day and adds up to your consistency. Step number 2, movement and meditation. This helps keep your heart rate good, your health very high, and also to be present in the moments that matter. Step number 3, cultivate and get back to your power circle, because they'll hold you down when it matters. Point number 4, keep an open mind. Try new things, get out there, meet new people, anything to keep engaged. And step number 5, self-empathy. Always have the self-empathy to check in, to see how you're doing, to understand your emotions. And for the bonus, understand and avoid your triggers. What triggers you, avoid them so that you can always maintain your energy in a positive space. Once you start keeping these steps in mind, your resilience and awareness will start to improve significantly. Now, consistency helps solidify a resilient mindset. Check one of the videos on screen to find out how to make consistency a natural part of your resilience. Alternatively, you can check out Championship Mode Collective's consulting-focused content to see if anything piques your interest. In the meantime, stay in Championship Mode.